Next section, guys, the big one, sensitivity. Honestly, it's the most asked question on the forums, on Facebook groups, on everywhere, and it's the most common thing people misuse and make their metal detector totally erratic and unusable. And then I see them loads of posts, especially the Nocta group, people posting what's wrong with this machine, and they've got the machine and it's going crazy, absolutely nuts, and they're saying it's faulty. It's no. Sensitivity is making the receive coil on the coil far too sensitive, and it actually starts picking up outside interference. So even if you hold it up and the thing's going crazy and you're detecting and the thing's going crazy, the sensitivity is far too high. Okay, the easiest way to deal with it is the way I'd set my machine up with every single machine is I put it to 0. Okay, I put it right down to nothing, and I find a clean bit of ground and I start detecting. If there's no iron there, I've got it in all metal, there's no iron, so I put my discrimination to 0, or I put that iron volume on so that you can hear iron, and I put my sensitivity to 0, find a clean bit of ground and I start increasing it 2 at a time. So I keep sweeping my detector side to side, coil about an inch off the ground, sweeping it side to side, increase it 2, so now I'm up to 4, 6, 8, and I keep increasing it until I start hearing spits and pops from the ground or outside interference. Okay, because some machines haven't got a noise cancel function or an EMI elimination feature, so what you're doing is you keep increasing it, and I'll guarantee you it'll be somewhere around about, if you're in Scotland, somewhere about halfway, because our soil is actually quite mineralised, and you'll find that you'll start getting feedback from the ground about halfway. So if it goes to 30, it'll be around about 15. If it goes to 50, it'll probably be about 25. If it goes to 100, it may be about 50. So whatever your sensitivity goes to as a maximum, you usually find halfway is where you start getting a slight bit feedback from the ground. As soon as you start getting feedback, if it starts spitting and popping, put it back to, and that's it set. It's as easy as that. And the rule of thumb is it's always somewhere around, start somewhere around about halfway if you don't want to put it way down to 0. You'll start to get a notice if you do what I say, putting it down to 0 or 1 or 2 to start with. Find a clean bit of ground, move it side to side, shoulder to shoulder width, an inch off the ground, start increasing the sensitivity 2 at a time until you start getting feedback. It's as simple as that. It's the most overused feature on a metal detector, or misunderstood feature on a metal detector, because people either use other people's settings, so they maybe see my settings online and they'll put my settings in. They might go into a field where the mineralisation is absolutely horrendous, and they'll say, hold on a minute, he's got his sensitivity at 20, and they put their sensitivity at 20 and the machine's going nuts, when the sensitivity should really be at 10, because they don't know how to properly set it. It's very easy to set it, as the way I showed you. Clean bit of ground, put the sensitivity down to minimum, start increasing it 2 at a time, sweeping it side to side until it starts spitting and popping at you. Then you back it off to, that's it. Don't change it, just leave it. That's it. Because it's highly over rated as well. Which I'll get to with the ground balance. You'll see when I get to the ground balance feature, I'm going to tell you a story about how ground balance actually affected the machine more than sensitivity. Alright, so I can't slag yous, I done the exact same thing. I pumped up that sensitivity, try to get maximum depth, because that's what you think, you're going to get maximum depth. And getting proper sensitivity will get you more depth than putting it over sensitising it, because now you can't tell what's a good target and what's a bad target, or what's a fake target, because the machine's just going nuts, it's picking up the ground. So the secret is always set your sensitivity properly, then you can hear faint signals, and your discrimination actually works better, because if you use too much sensitivity, you're making the machine far too sensitive to iron. So the discrimination feature doesn't work very good, and a good sign that your sensitivity is too high is when you start digging big iron. See, when you start digging big iron, that's a telltale sign that your sensitivity is too high. So a tip is, set your sensitivity properly, don't overpower it, and your machine will reward you with some nice finds. As I say, it's the most common mistake a beginner makes, even in people that think they're quite experienced, because you get greedy and you start thinking, I'll pump it up a wee bit, I'll pump it up a wee bit, and you start putting it up too much. Alright? So that's my biggest tip with sensitivity. Keep looking back in this video till you understand it. Don't overpower it. As I say, if it goes to 100, usually find it will start spitting and popping at 50 on good ground. Just for an example, the Manticore, the sensitivity goes to 35, right? We were on a field yesterday, I struggled to get it to 10, and it was buzz coming back at me, spitting and popping, and hearing the iron buzz when I was in all metal mode. So that tells you that's the ground, that's not iron, that's the ground, because when I put the sensitivity down, it went, there was no iron buzzes, so that's how you know it's ground. So you always find a bit of clean ground and keep increasing it till you get that feedback, back it off, and that's you. Okay?